Hallelujah. Shalom to you all. Good evening. Shalom, YouTube. Shalom to you, Facebook viewers as well. As always, it is a delight and a pleasure to be with you. Yahweh is faithful. This is the day that He has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Let's have this conversation. Of course, we're continuing to speak to useful and undervalued. And good evening to all of you. And certainly I realize from the report I'm getting from the saints that this is so important to all of you. And I praise Yahweh for that, for allowing me to pay attention to Him. Good evening. To pay attention to His voice, to listen to His instructions, to follow what He's saying. And faithful is He. Are we good? Are we good with sound on Facebook? Sometimes I know Facebook gets insane. YouTube, are you fine with sound? The other day I did an entire Facebook broadcast and was unable to see any live comments or reaction from you all. So I wasn't able to answer your questions while I was live. Sound is good. Excellent. Is Facebook good with sound? I see persons keep going in and out. If not, let me know so we can do something about it at the beginning. No, I'm live. Shalom to you, Pastor Mel. Somebody said they didn't get a Facebook notification. I'm live, Sash. Good. Okay. Observing the church, dealing with as many marriage counseling sessions and premarital counseling sessions that I have to, and even counseling persons whose relationship is in trouble. I realize the need, the urgency, the importance for speaking to this matter, where there's so many persons who are married. And I'm so happy that Facebook is or YouTube is also on, so I can just have the video up there. That's why I try to do simulcast, so we can have it there running for later viewing if you like. There's so many persons who desire to be married. They're dating now and the rest of it. And some have said to me, many of them, that they are certainly grateful for this information they have now. The reason being, it will help you to make informed decisions. Because many people choose to get married, I guess it's because the assumption is it's a godly thing to do, or it's just something that you desire to do to fulfill this package called life that you have. And it's just another step that you may intend to take. But if you are very observant, you realize how many marriages in the church are failing. At one point, I don't know if the church has recovered yet, but at one point, shalom to you, Conrad, the rate of divorce in the church as we know it was higher than that on the outside. And there had to be a cause for it. There had to be a reason why so many marriages in churches were failing. Then they became, the last few years, you began to see the preachers' marriages began to fail, where they found no issue marrying 3, 4, 5, or 3 women, one after the other. It wasn't a big deal. Celebrity gospel singers were caught in the wave, the tsunami of divorce, and they just grabbed somebody and married them, and it just became normal in the church. Why did that happen? Because the relationships were running on E. Is your marriage or your dating efficient? Let's talk about that. So, of course, the backdrop to this is the dream I had where the man was seeking to have me dishonor my wife, and I told me both may have wives by name or by title, but I honor mine more than you honor yours. Shalom to you. And I also said to the man that we got into car discussion, and I said I love my car. In the dream it was a Maybach, a Mercedes Maybach, and I said you have a car that the name maybe isn't known around anywhere. That's why you could treat it the way you do. And we have the sixth part of this discussion. You too may be missing a few parts of it. But we now on, is your dating or is your marriage efficient? Is it efficient? Okay. All right then, Rochelle. Is it efficient? I was in my car riding the other day. My vehicle, it's not a car. And the needle was almost to E. And then in my workout session as well, this whole thing kept playing in my mind, and I realized why I have to talk about this tonight. Shalom to you, Sire. We have so many persons are in effective relationships, thinking it's effective. Now you have to listen to me very carefully tonight. They are in efficient relationships, thinking it's efficient, but we're focusing on the E. Because in a car, whenever the needle gets to E, it's an announcement to you that you are running out of fuel. Now you need to hear me from the beginning of this broadcast. Your vehicle still runs. It still runs efficiently. You can still accelerate. If it's a Maybach, even a Maybach or Bentley, whatever car you're in, when you step on the gas pedal, it will accelerate. It will move very fast. It will behave as if everything is all right. It will still drive. It will still move. It doesn't begin to sputter and all of that. So the assumption that I notice when I counsel many married couples is they do not even know that their marriage is running out of fuel. Because the man normally says, my wife is fine. I don't have any issue with her. She's a happy woman. And I'm looking at her saying, does he realize what's happening to you? Does this man even recognize how much pain you're living with? People are dating, come to me, say, well, we want some counseling, or you want to know if you should go, shalom to you, Sister Pamela, if you should go forward and how should we proceed to marriage? And I'm saying you should proceed to marriage. Your dating is an E at the moment. Even the fact that you are dating this person, you don't recognize that your courtship is on E. It's going nowhere. You may travel a little bit more, but after a while it's going to collapse. Why does that happen? We'll talk about these things this evening. So, if you are not observant, you will recognize that sometimes, and this happens to very irresponsible people, the car just runs out of gas. You should never be in a relationship with any man. I'm speaking to you ladies because the man is a driver. You should never be in a relationship with any man who doesn't recognize when you're running on E, or who doesn't care that you're running on E. Because some of them can call a friend and say, hey, my car is running out of gas. Meet me at this location. And he gets out and leaves you on the road until he tries to come back with fuel whenever he has the time. Good night, Brother Richard. Good to see you. You should not ever give your heart or your emotions to somebody who doesn't care that you're running low on fuel. Because there are many systems in your car, like the pump, the fuel pump, that goes under pressure when it runs on E. Your injectors, if the tank isn't clean, could be fouled up because you're running on E. But if all things are okay, the car, I say again, can accelerate. It looks as if it's running well, but before you know it, it stops. It doesn't move. And the driver, if he or she is if he's irresponsible, doesn't even recognize that you are running low on fuel. Because it could be distractions in the car. We'll talk about that this evening. Distractions in the car. How many voices are in his ear talking while he's driving? How many persons, shalom to you, daughter, how many persons are speaking to him about you while he should be in charge of the relationship? When he should be governing and observing you, the woman, he's paying attention to what everybody else is saying, and he doesn't even realize that you are running on E. Shalom to you, Pastor J. We need to talk about this. How many of you can honestly say that your man gives you so much attention that nobody else's voice clutters his focus on who you are? Does your mother-in-law talk to your husband so much he doesn't recognize what you're going through? Does his pastor, his apostle, his bishop, whatever they are, talk to him so much that he can't even listen to what you're dealing with? Even in the church, I recognize that there are men who give so much attention to external voices that they can't govern in their own houses. then they're wondering why their marriage is falling apart, because you are being distracted while driving and you're not paying attention to the fuel gauge. So your wife is doing a lot of stuff. She's still cooking. She may still be cleaning the house. She may still be taking care of your clothes or the children and everything else. And the assumption is she's all right because she's still functioning. But is she efficient? You may be dating somebody and they say to you, I'll marry you. So, okay, the promise to marry you, or probably it's your phone. I don't see anybody having a problem, Andrew. So they're dating you and they're saying, oh, our courtship is going well. Our relationship is excellent because we both saved and we both love one another and all of that. And the relationship starts out great because your tank was full. So the driver is now is going down the road assuming that this is all right. Racing down the street and down the highway he goes and, oh yes, we'll be all right and all of that. And oh my God, you're in heaven. And don't realize that even the interest in one another and the constant chattering with one another and observing everything except the gauge will cause you, Mr. Driver, to run out of fuel, and your relationship ends abruptly on some highway and you can't figure out, how did this end? It was so promising. I thought I would have gotten this far with her. I thought he would have taken me thus far, but it's over. You can't have so much interest in anybody and cannot pay attention to when they are running out of what it takes to maintain a healthy relationship with you. Is it efficient? Is he somebody who loves you, and I'm using a lot of quotation marks, like they said tonight. Is he somebody who loves you so much that he cannot even tell that you're running out of fuel? So which man, because a lot of church men now like to talk about love, since the pastors tell your wife that he loves you. Oh, that he loves, you love her. So there's a lot of talk in church. I love you, girl. I love you. You love me, but you don't even recognize what I'm going through. You love me, but you do not even know that I'm going out of fuel. You love me so much that you can't even tell that my fuel tank is low. You know why? Because he is distracted by something else. Maybe some sight on the highway, or somebody talking in the car, or maybe something on the radio, some entertainment. So he has his radio music playing and he's being entertained and he's busy singing and enjoying himself and say, oh my God, I have such a great woman. Good evening, Candy, good to see you. He is being entertained and doesn't recognize that you are running out of fuel. Oh, some of you pastors, if you watch me, I will deal with you tonight as well. Because you are busy being the star of the church. You deacons as well too. And apostles, whatever you call yourself. You are so busy being the showpiece that you don't recognize that somebody right beside you every week dresses herself to go to church with you on E. Then you wonder why she cheated her. And you wonder why she has interest in some other man in the church. Because you have not been giving her any attention. Oh, my son made it. Bless you, son. You're busy being distracted by the entertainment that your eyes are not on the gauge. You don't even recognize sometimes that the car is overheating. Because the entertainment has you stuck. You are enjoying, sir, ma'am. You're enjoying, sir, all of the eyes that are on you, and they're talking about you, and you are the man, and you're the person that is the man of God. In America, Atlanta, they call you the man of God. Put a D at the end of it. Feels so important, but don't recognize that the person right beside you, the person you should be handling well, is saying, I need fuel. I need fuel. If you could just pull over and refill this tank, I can take you further than you're going right now. There's some other men who, because of the quality of woman they have, they cannot tell how far she has until she stops moving. Bless you, Brother Richard. Here it is. My car has a warning system. It tells you you have 50 miles until you run out of gas. You have 100 miles until you go to E, or 250 or 400 miles, whatever it is. Mine may have been up to about 250, 300. So it tells you that. Now, along with the gauge, I have a warning system that will told me this is your distance still empty. All of that is on display. The woman is telling you, I can't put up with this much longer. You're speaking to me as if I'm some idiot. You're belittling me in front of the children. I hope husbands are watching this indeed, Rosanna. She's telling you, every time you come home, you are on this telephone, and you and the phone have got until you're ready to sleep. This love affair. You're giving attention to everything else. She's announcing to you, I need you to give me some degree of attention. She's telling you that the way you are handling me, I'll run out of fuel. Oh, yes, sir. So when the car is full, you could go full gas if it's an excellent vehicle. And you're racing down the road, but you don't realize when it gets to E, you could still go full gas, but you run out of it. So the harder you press the gas on the gas pedal, when the car is low on fuel, the sooner your relationship will stop. The sooner you run out of fuel. The harder you press when things are not going, when the car is getting low on fuel, the sooner it will stop moving. Men, this is mostly about you this evening. Pay attention to where your wife is. Be honest and allow her to be honest with you. She didn't say she doesn't love you anymore. She doesn't say she's not willing to take you anywhere anymore. She doesn't say she's not willing to go with you anymore. She's saying you need to have some fuel put back inside of me so that I could take you, so I could go along on this journey with you. Never interpret a cry for refueling as the lack of love. If she tells you, I feel as if you're not giving attention to the relationship, she doesn't say I don't love you. She's saying you need to give me what I need to help you. Oh my God. That's it, Keenan. When you run on E and it cuts out now, that's when the thought becomes, why didn't I look at the gauge? How could my car fail me? Let's see if we can deal with that. How could this car leave me on the road? Did it? Or did you not pay attention to it? You rode past the gas stations. You rode past the gas stations that you could have stopped to refuel the vehicle at. What are some of those gas stations? Some healthy person to counsel you, to talk to you and tell you, hey, come. This is what she needs. Give her this. Listen to her. No, I don't have time for that. I don't have the time to stop to listen to what you have to tell my wife. They're telling you, don't talk to her like that. If you keep disrespecting her this way, she's gonna run out of gas and she'll leave you. Oh, no, she could never leave me. No, she's faithful. She's faithful. But she doesn't have an eternal tank of fuel. No man who cares about you will let you run out of fuel. Let the relationship end. And the best he could do is call somebody, say, pick me up. My car is out of gas. When he passed all those fuel stations along the way, he never stopped at one. One of them could be his conscience telling him you're wrong. You need to apologize. I'm not apologizing to her. I'm a man. Oh, really now? So when she's wrong, you demand an apology. But when you're wrong, you're too masculine to say you're sorry. And it works that way for a long time until one day she decides this is enough. And you wonder, how could this end? How could I run out of fuel? Because you were careless, because you were irresponsible. And I'm calling you men to reconsider where you are. Every woman who broke down on the highway was not a bad one. Some of them were neglected ones. I repeat, every woman who broke down or let you down on the highway was not bad. She was neglected. Oh, we'll talk about the gauge pass, Reggie. Let's do it. The Maybach has got a computerized system, and the gauges are calibrated to perfection, almost. But a cheap, useless, or useful car, cheap but useful, doesn't have much to it, has got defective gauges. Some of them don't even work. So you're driving now on hope, on memory. Oh, yesterday I gave it $5 worth of gas, so it should last me for 3 days. That's how some people drive their car. The gauge is broken. They wouldn't fix the gauge. They're saying, I know my car. If I put $20 gas in this car, or in Guyana $4,000 gas, this will take me for this long. Okay, but you didn't realize that somebody got on board and made you go further than you should have been. That something happened and you had to make a detour, or that you just drove faster than you should have driven. And then you say the car failed you. No, you could have fixed the gauge. And cheap cars don't have proper calibration systems sometimes. It doesn't tell you that you have this amount of reserve fuel, because they don't make them for that purpose. They make them just to get you to the corner and back. Spin around the town and you're all right. But men in the church, if you want women of quality, they will normally announce to you, this is as far as I could go, this is how much I can take. You are putting me, I'm an E, and if you do not address this matter right now, this may be over. My heart grieves for some of you females, ladies, sisters. And the reason why I grieve for you is because I realize that you got married to somebody who is a novice driver. Or you're dating somebody who's a novice but wants to drive. Trainee, L. They have to be taught about the fuel gauge, but they want to call themselves husbands. They're novices. They have a passion to drive. They have an interest in driving, but they don't know about the gauges, the systems of the car. One of the first things my father, ever London, taught me is pay attention to your gauge. That's among the first thing he taught me when I was driving. Give attention. Every so often, glance at your gauge, because if you don't pay attention to the gauges in your car, you are going to destroy this engine potentially, or you'll be stuck on some highway somewhere. And it never happened to me. I have never run out of fuel in over 20, almost now close to 30 years. Yeah, 30 years of driving. Close to that. I've never run out of fuel. Never. You know why? Let's talk about the next part. The reason why some of your relationships are E-fficient, MT, efficient, is because you are having somebody who can't afford to maintain what it takes for you to run. You know, we're not talking just the finances here. Don't put your mind on money. We're speaking to those men who want a woman who is high maintenance in terms of care, but he has low investment interest. The Maybach doesn't give you 30 miles a gallon. It's a big engine. It's a powerful engine. So it may give you 12 or 15 or so many miles per gallon. It's a huge engine. So cheap men can't afford to fuel a Maybach. Now they may have a lump sum of money at the beginning to impress somebody, put fuel in the car, but they can't afford to refuel it often. And if they don't know about the systems of the car, they're going to say, I could afford this. But they're novices. They don't understand that the bigger the engine, the more fuel it needs. So he has a dream to date you, not realizing that you require a lot of maintenance. Suddenly he begins to complain. Why you always want so much attention? Hello. I didn't call you to give it to me. You, sir, started giving her the attention before she asked for it. She didn't ask you for attention. You started out pursuing her and promising her that I will give you attention, that's fuel. I will take care of you, that fuel. I'll listen to you, that fuel. Oh my God, I will love you like Christ loved the church, that fuel. But now you're on the highway, you realize, I really can't afford to maintain this beast, because this thing is just gobbling up all my money. Then he begins to complain. Why after he drove you, started you up, got you going, he's now telling you, why are you suddenly demanding so much from me? I wonder if some of these brothers listen to themselves when they speak to your women, and if some of you listen to them when they talk to you. I know some of the men might hate me, but you'll love me later on. We'll be cool after tonight, or in a few days' time. Do you ever listen to how some men speak to you? Why you want all this attention? Excuse me? That's your wife. What do you mean, why does she want so much attention? So who's supposed to have your attention? That's a woman you promised to marry. That's your girl. You said you love her. You give her all the attention at the beginning. But now you recognize it is costing you a lot to maintain the quality of woman that she is. You want to make excuses now. And you want to begin to complain. But let me help you ladies tonight if I can. Maybachs do not lower their fuel economy to accommodate broke people. My God. Maybachs do not lower or reduce their fuel economy to accommodate broke people. It will cut off until somebody could afford to fuel it. I need to see that to you one more time. Maybachs, a car of quality, a woman of quality never reduces her fuel economy to accommodate broke people. She will not say, because you can't afford to take to fuel me 20, 50 miles per gallon, I'll reduce it and make it now 35 miles a gallon. No, she wouldn't do that. She maintains her standard. You either afford her or leave her alone. Blessings to you, my brother Alston. You ladies in the church need to stop dropping or trying to invent some system whereby you tell him, okay, if he can't talk to me for 2 hours, then talk for 15 minutes. What do you require to function? Because it will catch up with you. I promise you it will catch up with you. Your reduction in what you require will catch up with you. You don't compromise on fuel. You may compromise on accessories, but not fuel economy. The car is made to run a certain distance and a certain amount of fuel. You cannot compromise that, ladies. I'm telling you, you shall run out of gas. Your relationship will end, and you come back and tell me later on, I should have listened to you what you said, because I understand now that all my life I kept trying to make it work on what he could not afford. If he cannot afford to talk to you for 2 hours, and I'm just using figures here, if you know that it takes at least 2 hours in a day interacting with a man to make you okay, and you're so desperate now, you say, just give me half an hour, I'm promising you it will fail. You will run out of fuel because you weren't made to go on half an hour per day. If you know that you can't handle a man shouting at you, barking at you like you're a little puppy, don't allow it, because I'm telling you, a day will come and you can't take it anymore. You'll run out of fuel. If you know that you can't handle a man being on his phone, most women can't, by the way, all the time, especially speaking to somebody else of the same gender as you. So you're home with him, or you dating this guy, and when he's talking to you, he's also speaking to another female as much as you, or maybe more than you, and calling her his friend. You're in for trouble. You are in for trouble. Because you have somebody you can't afford to maintain what it takes. And then when you go to the pump with a Maybach, you cannot put basic fuel in it. I think Pastor Man's talking about that. You don't go to the pump and say, I can't afford ultra. I cannot afford ultra unleaded. I cannot afford this superior quality of fuel. Just drop some regular gas inside and let's get going. Again, the car will start. Yes, the car will move, but now you're damaging the quality of the engine. You ladies, madam, you need to understand, a man who you interact with at the beginning, you haven't married him yet, you're dating him now, you're not married yet, you're dating this person, and he's showing you plainly that you are too much for me to maintain, I would rather give you regular attention or fuel than ultra or high quality fuel, and you still want to marry him, your car will be, your engine this time will be destroyed. Not that you run out of gas. Your engine will be destroyed. So the efficiency now is not about fuel. It's about how well you'll run in the future. Have you ever seen some women, when they were dating somebody, the way they dressed, the way they conducted themselves, the way they handled themselves, the confidence that they had, and 4 years or 3 years after marriage, you look at them and figure out, now, what happened to you? Where did all of this interest in how you look go? I tell you where it went. Eficient. He treated you so casually that you can't even recover for your engine to run right. A man who does not care about you will not have an interest in how long your fuel will last. A man who does not care about you will not have an interest in how long your fuel will last. He will drive you around until he has enough of you. And until he's ready to put more fuel in. Thank you for the confirmation, Ruth. How do you know men care about you? The moment you begin to approach the quarter tank, he wants to go back to refuel you. From the moment he begins to you begin to approach quarter, he wants to have you refuel. He wants to talk. You're not on E, and he's ready to tell you, we need to talk. We need to find out what's happening here. Because I don't want you to run out of fuel, baby. What must I do to get you back up and running again? I'm sorry. I didn't give you much. Okay, I fixed that. I'll deal with that. That's how you know a man has great interest in you. When he's not prepared for you to have your relationship die. And like my son, Pastor Reginald, saying, all he could tell you is it was a good ride. Thanks. But what some of you are being tricked by is, while you are on E, his hands are still on you. His hands are still on you. He's still braking well. He's still steering the car well. Shalom to you, Brother Paul. Your wipers are still perfect. Your headlights are excellent. So the deception is, this guy really is taking care of me because he's handling me well. But he's not hearing that you are approaching E. He's not recognizing that you are running out of fuel. And there are too many marriages in the church that are ending. I am not going to ever sit before you all and say that I'm okay with the divorce rate in the church. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable for any two people to tell me that they are full of the Spirit of Yahweh, Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit, but you want to leave one another and you're divorcing. I would never accept that. I will say it until I die. I will say it until I die. I will never accept two Spirit-filled people claiming to have Holy Spirit tell me that they want to be divorced. I will never accept it. There's no way I will accept that. Find somebody else to talk to because I will not accept it. Now, you know, before I leave you, you normally have to go down a pathway by some people say, Apostle, man, you really wrong. It's not me. So don't blame me for this. Blame my Father in heaven, as Yeshua said, what I hear him say is what I speak to you. When the car is on E, I have seen some brothers, because it's hot, take the window up, have the AC on cold. Okay, take the window up, have the AC on cold. When you have your AC running, the fuel burns even faster than the normal. Oh, you need to listen to this, please. He shuts you up, shuts the windows, closes everything out, shut you up, because he wants to be cool. My God. His comfort is more important than your survival. His comfort is more important than your need. That's the man you need to avoid at all cost. Some men will take the window down and say, I have to get this car to the fuel station, so I'll drop the window and I'll drive slowly to get fuel in the car. Others who don't care will take it up, shut you up, shut the world out from talking to you and telling him, hey, your gauge is on low. And he runs you as if it's still okay, as if it's still full. Mark those men who, whenever you are in a crisis, he shuts you up and tells you, don't you ever take my business out of this house. Any man who refuses for you to get help when you need it, don't marry him. I'm talking to you single ladies first. Any man, boy, male, that shuts you up whenever you need help, don't marry him. Do not marry him. Read my lips, as the president said. Don't marry him. You are playing with trouble. Any man, I don't care what tongues he's talking, that shuts you up whenever you need help, watch him. Watch him. Mark him. But some of you, you fall for the foolishness of, I'm a private kind of person. Private? You are so private that you can't even read the gauge properly and take me to get help. You don't have gas. You can't afford gas, some of y'all. And before you ask somebody to help me, you would rather shut me up until I run out of gas. These men will close the door, close the window, lock the car up, and turn the air on cold and say, I need to be comfortable while you run out of fuel. And if you're not careful, some of them are even more brutal than that, because what they do now is, when you run out of fuel, doesn't turn the engine off, he leaves it on ignition. So he kills even the battery because he doesn't want to be hot. He kills your relationship altogether. When he is through with you, you can't even move another step. So anybody else who comes after that has a lot of work to do to get you started. Some of them left you, and at least you had a chance to start again when gas was back in the tank. But some of these men, when they finish with some women I see in the church, you can't even move. You can't even get started. And then they want to know why you hate men so much. You shouldn't hate men, but the concept is, they're saying, why don't you find somebody? Find? I can't even start. Because the last man I had, who promised he'll marry me and take good care of me, left me on a highway with a dead battery. No interest. No interest. He doesn't care about you. So somebody else sees you, beautiful Maybach, excellent body, perfect structure, clean on the outside, but you can't get started. Engine is perfect, but can't move. It then requires someone with such great care to find a battery replacement for you, find fuel for you, to try to help you to get going again. And then the owner comes back. I'm talking to you single girls now. You single ladies, hear me right now. Then the owner comes back to say, it's my car. Thank you for putting fuel inside. And he wants to drive you again. And you let him. Because you're that desperate. No man is supposed to be in you. I'm talking to you single ladies now. No man is supposed to be in and out of your life. Every time you run out of fuel, somebody has to pick you back up on your feet. When you're going again, then when he has an interest another time. If you are single, stop it. Stop that, please. I'm asking you, stop it. It is not a good representation of the kingdom of Yahweh. Let's have a heart-to-heart talk. I know this may be hurting some of you, but you need to hear it tonight. You are not supposed to have men in and out of your life, all because somebody else helped you to get back up, and he shows up to pick up, to start on another journey with you again. And what does he do? I'm going this way. I'll take you this far. I'll take you here. I'll take you here. And you're just eager to be driven. Thank you, daughter. Don't ever let men treat you like that. Don't allow men to pop in and out of your life while you have to be stuck waiting for him, and you're on your knees praying, oh God, please send him back to me. To do what? To run you an E again? I love how he drives. Yeah, but does he take care of you? Worse, as a single lady, you are never, in the church I'm speaking to, never in the church should you pray and ask Yahweh to send a man back to you because you enjoy fornicating with him. If you have a man who insists repeatedly that you violate Yahweh's instruction and continue to fornicate with you instead of marrying you, and you want to go asking your father to send back a fornicator to you, you are insulting Yahweh. You don't ever go kneeling and asking God to send you back a man who wants to sleep with you without marrying you. So he could enjoy you for all these years and can't make up his mind as to whether he must be his wife. He could enjoy you driving all over the place and can't register you yet. So he has to steal a ride every so often because the car isn't registered. You are running on E-fficient mode. His daughters on a promise. And you need to cut it out. You girls who watch me, you need to cut it out. Exactly, Pastor Red. Rental. Cut it out. You don't. I know some people now. Apostle, I need to marry this guy. Why? Or I need to be with him. You can't leave him. Why can you not leave him? Oh, because I enjoy sleeping with him. You enjoy sleeping with a man who's not your husband in the church, and the preacher mustn't talk about that. Oh, you're being judgmental. Call it what you want. Call it whatever you want to call it. I have judged accurately. And we have to get it right. You are worth more than that. But if the car is not of great value, then the man, and I dealt with mechanics, I did it myself as well, working with my friends in the mechanic shop, at the garage. Some cars, it's there all the time. You don't wash it, nothing. But when you want to get somewhere quick, you just get some fuel, get a gallon container, pour some gas in the tank, gone. While the real car is parked in the garage. But the runaround car, the gopher, you go take wherever you want to go with it. You just grab a little fuel, throw in the tank and gone, because you have to buy parts, you have to do so many things. And, oh my God. Sorry, ladies, but I have to tell you as it is. That car, we had some cars when we were working. I would drive my Mercedes, park it by my friend, and we begin to work on other vehicles in the yard. And some days, when we have to buy a part for another vehicle, we pour fuel in that car, head down the road, and you're bringing back parts to fix another car. Now, I'll explain that to you in a minute. Imagine a man is putting fuel in you so he could go and get parts to fix something else. I hope you all get it. He's taking care of you so he could use you to take care of someone else. He's giving you a little interest, useful, but the interest is so you can take him to buy what he wants for somebody else, for another woman. He's taking care of you so you can take him to the phone company to pay the bill for another woman. I know you got it now. I know you got it right now. And you would have been celebrating the fact that he spent time with you. But time to do what? That's it, Pastor Mel. Cook for you. Oh yeah, yes. Let me take you shopping. But to do what? To cook. To give him energy to see somebody else. Wash my clothes for me. You wash his clothes so he could dress to see somebody else and take them out to dinner, not you. And you boasting to your friends that you are able to take care of your man. No, you're not. You're useful so somebody else could use him. While the car of quality is parked and not being used to run around the place. If some of you would listen to counsel, you will not be dating some people you're dating right now. And secondly, you will be single for a little while longer. But I promise you, if you approach dating and marriage with the seriousness that Yahweh intends for it to be approached with, you wouldn't have people wasting your time. And you would have less pain to deal with when you're married. If you heed the counsel, Facebook just popped, but it'll come right back. If you heed godly counsel, you will not be half as hurt. If I can give this broadcast some life. If you heed godly counsel, you will not have the pain of running on you. Be back. Shalom, Sister Natasha. It should be back up now. Is it back? Are we good? Right. Facebook is back. Facebook is back now, so somebody could jump back on Facebook if you want to. If you listen to sound counsel, you'll be single for a little while longer. Facebook is back up. YouTubers, Facebook is back up. If you listen to sound counsel, you may be single for a little while longer, but you'll have less pain to deal with when you're married. I promise you, as Yahweh lives. If you're married and you listen to wise counsel, you may have to repent if you're in error, but your house is aligned to godliness again. You could never listen to godly counsel about marriage. Apply godly counsel regarding marriage and have a poor marriage thereafter. It will never happen. Somebody's a liar or a hypocrite. You can never be in the kingdom of Yahweh. Follow godly counsel, receive godly counsel, and then have a failing marriage. That's somebody is a hypocrite. But if both you are serious about your walk with Yahweh and you heed godly counsel, your house gets better. And that's what my heart is. That's my heart. After I was awakened from that dream, where that man was trying to make me dishonor my wife, it disturbed me for days. And now I know why. Because you on this broadcast are helping me to see why I was awakened to that extent and troubled. Bless you, us. Many have said it. If I had me, I said myself, Yahweh, if you had given me this information before, I would not have hurt my wife the way I hurt her in the early years of our marriage. Never. No way. There's no way I could have known what I'm telling you now and hurt my woman. Never. But I didn't know. I did not know. I assumed that just doing certain basic things was okay, would have been okay, but it was not okay. It was not okay, and I'm grateful for a wife who was honest and straight up. You're hurting me. I don't like this. And we were able to talk for years. We've been married for 19 years now. We were able to talk extensively, hours upon hours. And today, we both praise Yahweh for it. For if you have a marriage that's healthy and your intention is to maintain the sanctity and the beauty of marriage as Yahweh wills it, you'll be all right. I appreciate my time with you all, always would. I value it highly. You on Facebook, if you're required to see this again, you can find it. It's on YouTube. Some persons don't have Facebook accounts. They're tired of it, I guess. So this broadcast will be up on YouTube. So I hope that you're able to view it and share it if you like. All right? I appreciate it highly. Thank you all so much. See you again soon. Okay, somebody on YouTube is asking, can you revisit the part about the man being a novice? Okay? Somebody wants me to talk about the man being a novice. So, bless you. Shalom. Let me do that quickly, okay? It won't allow you to share now. That's interesting. The man being a novice. Let's talk about that. Somebody asked me to address it. Some men want to drive a car, but they are one, unfamiliar with the gauge or with the importance of viewing the gauge, keeping your eyes on the gauge. If that happens, what the person does is their interest is just in control. Gas, brakes, control. But not how much further can I go with the car in this state. Get that? He wants to control, or the person wants to control, but they don't have the wisdom to pay attention to the gauge. But an experienced driver controls while giving attention to the levels in the car. Okay? That's the novice. And not when someone is learning to drive, they really don't pay attention to the gauge because they're so scared they want to pay attention to the road all the time. They want to look at everything in the street to ensure that they're doing the right thing. But a skilled driver can glance at the gauge and realize, okay, levels, heat is good, oil is good, especially fuel is good, and also control the car well. I hope I clarified it for you on YouTube. Right? Love you all. Probably tomorrow we shall continue as Yahweh wills, because as I said to you before, we have to ensure that this information is not just heard, but it is applied. Somebody from the Bahamas, bless you. Oh, thank you all so much. Love you all. Blessings. Shalom. See you again soon. Yahweh willing. Bye-bye.